friends, welcome back to my channel in another video. Today we discuss about the chapter 8 of 11th biology, cell, the unit of life. Right, all organisms are compound of cells. Right, cells are structural and functional unit of life. Right, some are composed of single cells called unicellular, right, and some composed of the many cells called the multicellular organisms. Right, example of unicellular organisms are datums, E. coli, Bacillus, Candida albicans, and Streptococcus. Right, example of multicellular organisms called human and plants. Right, Antony von Leeuwenhoek discovered the live cell. Right, Robert Brown discovered the nucleus, also invention of the microscope. Okay, let's talk about the what is cell. uh, you can see the cell is a structural and functional unit of life. Right, unicellular organisms capable of independent existence. Right, an essential function of life. Right, cell is essential function of life. Right, cell theory. In 1838, Matthias Schleiden and German botanist examined a large number of plants and observed that all plants are composed of different kind of cells from the tissue of the plant. Second thing, Theodore Swan, British zoologist, they studied different type of animal cells. Right, in plasma membrane, outer layer of cells, plasma membrane and thin layer. प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन जो सेल का आउटर लेयर ऑफ सेल है, प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन, और थीन लेयर होता है. राइट, और क्या ऑब्जर्व किया था, स्टडी की थी सेल वॉल. राइट, स्क्लेडन एंड स्वान टुगेदर फॉर्मुलेटेड ऑफ द सेल थियरी. रुडोल्फ विर्चो the first explained that cells divide and new cells are formed from pre-existent cells. Example of hominis, cellula a cellula. That means all cells come from cell. Right? Schleiden and Swan to give the cell theory a final shape. उन्होंने क्या किया था, बताया था कि all living organisms composed of cells and product of cells. वो सारे, उन्होंने कहा था सारे organisms are made up of composed of cells. Right, all cells arise from pre-existent cells. Overview of cells. You have earlier observed cells in onion peel. Right, ह्यूमन चिक सेल्स अंडर द माइक्रोस्कोप. आपने देखा ही होगा कि ऑनियन पील में हमने ऑब्जर्व किया था, और ह्यूमन में चिक सेल्स. राइट, हमने माइक्रोस्कोप में देखे थे. राइट, लेट अस recollect the structure. Right, the onion cells typical plant cells. Right, has a cell wall, outer boundary. Right, and within the cell membrane. ऑनियन सेल में क्या प्रेजेंट था, सेल मेम्ब्रेन और सेल वॉल दोनों ही प्रेजेंट थे. राइट, द ह्यूमन चिक हैव आउटर मेम्ब्रेन स्ट्रक्चर, डी एलिमिनेटिंग स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ सेल्स इनसाइड the each cell membrane bound the structure called a nucleus. Right, एनिमल ह्यूमन सेल्स मतलब चिक्स सेल्स में हमने क्या देखा, inside the each cell membrane bound the structure called the nucleus. Nucleus contain the chromosome, which in turns contain the genetic material. Right, अब दो टाइप के सेल है, यूकैरियोटिक और प्रोकैरियोटिक. Cell have membrane bound the nuclei. Right, and lack of membrane bound the nuclei. यहाँ पे क्या है, सेल मेम्ब्रेन प्रेजेंट है. राइट, यहाँ पे सेल मेम्ब्रेन एब्सेंट है. राइट, अदर मेम्ब्रेन बाउंड डिस्टिंक्ट स्ट्रक्चर कॉल्ड द ऑर्गेनेल. यहाँ पे क्या है, ऑर्गेनेल प्रेजेंट है, यहाँ पे ऑर्गेनेल एब्सेंट. Example of endoplasmic reticulum, right? Golgi complex, lysosomes, mitochondria, microbodies, and vacuoles, right? Ribosome, non-membrane bound organelles, right? Ribosome पे outer layer membrane absent है. Also present ribosome in prokaryotic cells, right? Present cytoplasm in eukaryotes, also present in prokaryotes, right? Cytoplasm function, the various chemical reaction occur in it to keep the cell in the living state. साइटोप्लाज्म क्या करता है, वो सेल को लिविंग रखता है और वो भी केमिकल जो रिएक्शन होते हैं वो साइटोप्लाज्म में होते हैं, राइट? Animals cells contain another non-membrane bound organelle called the centrosomes, which helps in cell division, right? Cells differ greatly in size, shape, and activities. For example, mycoplasma, smallest cell, only 0.3 micrometer in length, right? Which bacteria 3 to 5 micrometer, right? The largest isolated single cell is ostrich, right? Multicellular organisms is a human red blood cells are about 7 micrometer in diameter, also round and bioconcave shape. Nerve cells are largest cells, branched and long. Polygonal shape, example of liver cells. Polygonal shape are like this, right? Disc shape is human red cells, example. White blood cells, example. White blood cells are example of amoeboids. Column epithelial cells are long and narrow shaped, right? And a trachea, the elongated. Mesophyll cells are round and oval shaped. So summary is, the cell, the unit of life, is the what is cells? Two types of, first the single cell, unicellular or multicellular organisms are present, right? In cell theory, it was in 1838, Matthias Schleden and Schwann. Matthias Schleden is a botanist, German botanist, and he examined the large number of plants and observed the different kind of cells in tissue, from tissue of plants, right? And the second, the Theodore Swan, is a British zoologist, right? He studied the different types of animal cells in the plasma membrane and cell walls, right? And the final shape, that theory of all living organisms composed of cells and product of cells, and all cells arise from pre-existing cells, right? For example of Omnicellula A cellula, the most IMP example of cell theory, right? Then overview of cells are is a two types of eukaryotic or prokaryotic cells are present, and eukaryotic cells are the cell membrane are present of bound of nuclei in a lake. In prokaryotes, cell membranes are absent. Organelles are present in eukaryotes and lake of prokaryotes. In lake of prokaryotes, also function is the cytoplasm is cells keep in the living state रखने का काम करता है cytoplasm, right? And animal cells contain the another non-membrane bound organelle is called the centrosomes, lysosomes, right? And for example, the most IMP, for example, mycoplasma smallets cells only 0.3 micrometer in length, while the bacteria is a 3 to 5 micrometer. The largest isolated single cells is ostrich, and the multicellular organisms, the human red blood cells is a 7 micrometer in diameter, and it is a round and bioconcave. Nerve cells are largest cells, branched and long, and the polygonal shape as an example of liver cells. Disc shape is human red cells, and the white blood cells are amoeboid, and the columnar epithelial cells are long and narrow shape, and trichoid is elongated, and the mesophiles is a round and oval shape. Thank you. Please do subscribe to my channel.